This week on JTV, we're creating fabulous flower fashions from Fitz Design, perfect for guys and girls to wear to prom. So everyone all over the country is having success with prom. And the great news is that success is coming from working with Fitz product. No two corsages that you create inside your store should look alike. It's amazing because when the girls go in to look for dresses, many times the dress manufacturers are taking note of the dress that they order and the color that they've selected and ensure to that girl that they're not going to sell that same dress to someone else at her high school. That can work very well for you as their professional florist. Making sure that if you sell someone a specific corsage in a specific color range with a specific bracelet, that you don't sell that to someone else at their same school. It's an easy way for you to set up a protocol that's going to allow you to ensure better customer service and make more popular, unique items for your customers. For example, we can make each one of the prom corsages special and personalized. Look at the amazing choices that Fitz has come up with. All of these are newer styles that you're seeing now, and each one of them is different. And having the Fitz display rack is extremely important. I had an interesting scenario happen this year where someone told me that some of their flower jewelry didn't sell. I asked them exactly how they displayed it, and they told me that they threw them all in packages inside a big jar on their counter. That's not going to work. This is fashionable jewelry that needs to be displayed. Notice how we've grouped like colors together. We've got a great color palette for them to look at, and they're able to see all the different varieties. Maybe you have 1, 2, 3, or 4 of these, so you're able to display all of the unique items. The other thing that's important too is the other unique pieces that Fitz is creating. Look at their new gemstones. Each one of these is individually wired, and each one of those is set by itself in its own setting, so that you have the ability to create something fun. Over here, I just took a bow and attached 3 of those pieces to the back and tied the bow into the center. That alone is a corsage itself for us. I use a little bit of Oasis floral adhesive and a beautiful orchid from Amy's. This is a Vanda orchid, and it's one of the unusual varieties she has. You can't request this one. It's kind of luck of the draw with them, but you can call and ask her for unusual colored orchids, and they'll send you a great selection. We're going to trim off that back nice and close, right next to the flower itself. Then we'll put glue on that area, covering completely where we cut that stem away. We'll add some glue right to the center of the bow where we want that to fill in and be attached. We'll wait for those to set up for a second before we put them together. Not only do they have rhinestones, but they have other wonderful pins like this. These square ones with pearls in the inset, or ones like this that are flowers with a great big diamond in the middle. We'll use those in the bracelet we're going to make today. We've allowed this to set up for a few seconds, and then we put that together, placing that into the center. It's that simple and that easy to create something beautiful that people can wear as a wrist corsage or even as a shoulder corsage. I've had Tracy Park in the studio this week helping me. She's our wedding expert here at UBloom, and she created some beautiful corsages for you to take a look at. Look at this one. These are on elastic, so they're very similar to a watch wristband. And again, the diamonds have been used inside there in those gemstones with some ribbon, gluing our orchids on the outside. Or what about this one with the polka dot beads? And look at that great ribbon inside there and beautiful roses and orchids together. One of the key points about selling prom corsages to your customers is having live examples like this. It's so important for them to look at this and actually see what the flowers themselves are going to look like. Having this beautiful Milva rose in here with our orchids around the outside shows them exactly what fresh flowers look like. Many years ago, it was conventional wisdom to create corsages and samples out of silk flowers to show kids. But the kids never actually ordered the silk flowers. They're ordering fresh flowers. So showing them what those fresh flowers can look like allows you to sell prettier prom corsages. So let's create one of those using one of Fitz's newest items. This is their new cuff. Notice the little butterflies inside there with their jeweled wings. We're going to use that, and we're going to create a prom corsage. Fitz also creates a holder that will hold these. I've got to get Dan to send me one of those. It's similar to this, but it doesn't have the fine leather furnishings on it, so that you can make multiple corsages at one time. Since we're not attaching anything with this ribbon, I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. We could use that to tie in a bow if we wanted to, but today we're going to make all of our flower placements right on that flange. The plastic flange that's on here is made of a specific plastic that actually adheres itself better to the Oasis floral adhesive. So what we're going to do is just coat that surface with our Oasis floral adhesive. Again, let me remind you, we always use cold glue to glue our fresh flowers into our flowers to wear. We never use hot glue. The flowers won't hold up, and it's bad behavior. So now we'll add a few of these beautiful blue dyed Bombay orchids from Amy. It's a perfect coloration to match that turquoise. We're going to go in and cut off that stem right at the back of the flower itself. We don't want to leave any stem on the back because that is extra plant material that will take moisture away from the flowers themselves. So trimming that off as flush as possible is key. Then we apply our floral adhesive. A nice grouping of it, big blob on the back, if you will, so that we make sure there's plenty back there that will adhere. So we've covered up the area where we cut away the stem. That seals in the moisture and allows this to seal that area completely. And it's going to adhere very well to our back on the wrist corsage itself. Our next detail, we're actually going to place these inside each one of the orchid throats. So I'm going to cut this short. I'm using my Nip-X because it cuts through those heavy metal pins very easily. Go ahead and apply a little bit of glue on the back of this while we're waiting for other glue to set up. One of the key components to working with the cold glue is to allow it to set up slightly before we place everything together. So these guys should be ready to be glued right on top of there. It's a great way to group those in there. And they look great with our butterfly as well. Now, inside each one of these throats, we're going to go ahead and add some glue. Again, a nice good blob inside there. Don't you like that I say blob? It's a real technical term, but you understand what I mean. Many times people will ask me about how much glue they should use. You should always use plenty of glue because it's the glue that holds the flowers and the gems in place. If we don't use enough glue, the flowers or gems could fall out. Now we grab our gems. We'll place those in the center of the orchids. Again, you'll notice I've got some little webs on here. If I just wait until they dry a little bit, I can pull those away. And one more right down inside there. See those little webs? We'll just pull those away gently. It's a beautiful way for us to add bling and have there not be a lot of other items inside there. Because this is a cuff, it's extremely elegant, and so we want the flowers to be elegant as well. If we wanted to, we could add one more of the buds to the center. While we're waiting for that glue to dry, let me show you another great idea. So many times people ask about the glue that gets all over your fingers and how sticky it can become. Here's an easy way to clean that up. Poke on leaf shine. Spray that on your fingers, just rub it together, and the poke on leaf shine actually cleans the glue off of your fingers and off of your fingernails without removing your fingernail polish. So for you ladies watching, that's a perfect way for you to work with this product and also ensure that your manicure doesn't go to waste. We just rub it off with a paper towel and our hands are completely clean. Go back in and add our bud. That finishes off the center of that just perfectly. So it looks very natural. And then we've got our beautiful jewels on all sides. Now let's talk about flowers for guys too, because Fitz is always thinking. You're probably familiar with this one. They started making these wonderful little pieces that have a magnet on the back and a receptacle for the flowers themselves. They're easy to pin on and come in a wide variety of colors. But now they have two great new products. The first one is called the Easy Pin. It's a piece of plastic that has two notches at the bottom. On the back side is a easy pin with a great little plastic stopper that has two other pins that go through the lapel itself. After it goes through the lapel, you put the rubber stopper back on again. Because it's two pins, it won't turn either direction, so it allows it to stay in place. You can glue to this. You can also trim off the bottom and make a smaller boutonniere, or you can wire to it. Let me show you what Tracy did today. We've used a beautiful calla lily from Calico and a couple of James Story orchids from Amy's Orchids. Attaching that to the back side, she simply used the bullion decorative wire to attach it. So it's an easy way to attach that to a simple system that allows the girl to feel comfortable when she's pinning on a boutonniere. Our orchids were glued into place, and that is a stunning, beautiful boutonniere. Remember, easy pins are also great for weddings and special events too. So it's not just limited to prom or homecoming. My favorite product from Fitz is the new Magic Magnets. It's 3 magnets inside a piece of plastic. There's 2 of those sets of magnets together, and so they easily clip together. Now, the great part about this is you can trim these, you can wire to them, you can glue to them. There's a lot of different options. Today, Tracy made this great looking boutonniere. 3 beautiful spray roses from Euphoria, wrapped with decorative metallic wire and glued to the magic magnet. That way we remove the magnet on the back side and then we're able to put it on a lapel or even across a pocket. Remember the pocket square that we made here on JTV in Season 2? This way, you're just creating a piece that can actually fit on the edge of the pocket itself. The magic magnets give you lots of different opportunities. People talked about cutting off single ones of these, as simple as this, and then gluing 1 flower to that and making cufflinks or a single flower, maybe a single Kermit pom-pom with one of these beautiful gems in the center, can become a very simplistic boutonniere. There's lots of different opportunities, and Fitz makes all of this possible. Remember, our final step with all of our flowers to wear is to use Kreisel Professional Glory. We want to ensure that that product maintains its moisture and lasts as long as it possibly can for the kids. Their special night out is extremely important, and now you're able to offer them one-of-a-kind pieces of jewelry thanks to the people at Fitz. Until next week, keep having fun with flowers.